Rihanna and A$AP Rocky finally reveal why they won't get married. Fans in disbelief. The night the world expected a ring, they delivered a revelation instead. It started in Los Angeles, a velvet-lit rooftop overlooking the glowing skyline. Cameras flashed below like restless lightning. Rumors had been circling for months. Engagement whispers, secret ceremony talk, anonymous sources close to the couple. The headlines were practically written already. But inside the private lounge, Rihanna sat cross-legged on a cream velvet sofa, calm as the ocean before a tide shift. Across from her, A$AP Rocky leaned back in his chair, fingers laced, eyes thoughtful, not anxious, not pressured, just certain. Tonight wasn't about confirming a wedding date. It was about ending the question altogether. The announcement, no one expected they had agreed to one joint interview, one conversation to clear the air. No PR spin, no cryptic answers. Just truth. When the host finally asked the question the world had been screaming for years, "Are you two finally getting married?" The room went still. Rocky glanced at Rihanna, she smiled softly, and then she said it. "We're not getting married." You could almost hear social media combust. The host blinked. "You're not?" Rocky leaned forward slightly. "Nope." Silence. "Why?" the host asked, visibly stunned. "You two seem more in love than ever." Rihanna's voice was steady. Exactly. Love without a stage. Later that night, clips spread like wildfire. Fans debated, dissected, and demanded explanations. But the full story unfolded in the extended interview, the part most people weren't prepared for. Rocky spoke first. "I grew up watching relationships crumble under expectations. The ceremony becomes bigger than the connection. The title becomes heavier than the bond." He wasn't bitter. He wasn't cynical. He was honest. Rihanna nodded. "We've built something private in a world that profits from our exposure. The moment we say wedding, it stops being ours." Her voice softened. "I don't want the most sacred moment of my life sponsored." The host shifted. "So it's about privacy?" "It's about freedom," she replied. "The promise they already made." What fans didn't know, what no one knew, was that years earlier in a quiet Caribbean sunset there had already been a promise. No diamonds, no guests, no contracts, just sand beneath their feet and waves whispering behind them. Rocky had taken her hand and said, "I choose you. Not because I have to, not because it's official, because I want to." Rihanna had laughed softly. "Then keep choosing me." And he had. Every day since. In their eyes, that was the commitment. No paperwork could deepen it. No ceremony could validate it. The real reason. As the interview continued, Rihanna leaned forward slightly. "Marriage is beautiful," she said carefully, "but it's not the only form of permanence." Rocky added, "We don't need a government stamp to prove loyalty." Then Rihanna said something that truly shook the internet. "I don't ever want him to feel trapped." The host frowned. "Trapped?" "Yes," she said gently. "Not because he would leave, but because love should feel like a choice every morning, not an obligation." Rocky reached for her hand. "And I don't want her to ever feel like she belongs to me legally," he added. "She belongs with me, not to me." That line trended globally within hours. Fans in disbelief. The reactions were explosive. Some fans applauded them. Others felt betrayed. For years, people had imagined the fairy tale wedding. The dress, the guest list, the photos, the music. People felt entitled to that moment. But what shocked fans most wasn't that they weren't marrying. It was why. They weren't rejecting love. They were protecting it. The hidden pressure. Later in the interview, Rocky admitted something deeper. "You know how many business deals shift when people get married?" he asked. "Assets, contracts, public perception. Suddenly, the relationship becomes strategic." Rihanna nodded slowly. "And we've both built empires. We don't want our love to become a merger." The honesty stunned the host. "This isn't fear," Rihanna clarified. "It's intention." She paused. "We already wake up committed. That's enough." The private conversation. No one saw that night. After the cameras were gone and the headlines were spinning out of control, they sat alone on the balcony. The city hummed below. Rocky looked at her carefully. "You good?" She exhaled. "Yeah? You?" He nodded. There was no tension, no regret, just relief. For the first time in years, the pressure was gone. They had finally said what they'd always known. They didn't need marriage to legitimize what they had built. The twist no one expected. 2 weeks later, in a quiet podcast appearance, Rihanna revealed something that left fans even more stunned. We actually talked about getting married, she admitted. Recently? The host asked. She smiled slightly. Every year. So what stops you? She laughed softly. We realize we're already living like we are. Rocky later added in another interview, if one day it feels right, cool, but we won't do it because the world expects a storyline. That word, storyline, hit hard. Fans realized something uncomfortable. They had been treating the couple like a script, a different kind of forever. Months passed. The media frenzy cooled, but something interesting happened. Instead of fading, their relationship seemed stronger. Public appearances became softer, more playful, less performative. They weren't trying to prove permanence anymore. They were just living it. And one evening, during a small surprise performance, Rocky changed a lyric in one of his songs. Don't need a ring when the queen already crowned me. The crowd erupted. Rihanna watched from backstage, eyes shining, not because she wanted a wedding, but because she felt chosen. Again, the final word. In their final joint statement months later, they said something simple. We don't reject marriage. We just don't rush sacred things for public consumption. And then Rihanna added one last line that sealed it. Love isn't measured by a ceremony. It's measured by consistency. Fans slowly understand. Over time, disbelief turned into respect. Some fans even admitted that their choice felt revolutionary. In a world obsessed with labels, timelines, and fairy tale endings, they had chosen something quieter, something deliberate, something unpressured. And maybe that was the real shock. They weren't avoiding commitment. They were redefining it. The quiet ending. Late one night, far from cameras and headlines, they sat in silence watching the stars. Rocky wrapped his arm around her. Still don't want that big wedding? He teased softly. She smiled against his shoulder. I already got the man, she whispered. What do I need the party for? He kissed her forehead. And somewhere far away, fans still debated. But up on that balcony, there was no disbelief, only peace. Because sometimes the strongest promise is the one you keep without an audience. The world had been waiting. For years, fans had speculated. Every red carpet appearance, every coordinated outfit, every soft glance between them during interviews. Every time Rihanna casually rested her hand on Rocky's chest. When's the wedding? That question had trended more times than anyone could count. And then, one Thursday night, everything changed. The announcement that shook social media. It started with a cryptic Instagram post, a black and white photo of the two of them sitting on the steps of a brownstone in Harlem. No jewelry, no glam team, no flashing rings, just them. The caption read, Love doesn't need a ceremony to be real. We've made a decision. Tonight, we're explaining everything. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Twitter, or X, depending on who you asked, went into full meltdown mode. TikTok creators went live. YouTube countdown streams started. News outlets prepared breaking news banners. Were they finally announcing a wedding date? Or something else? The livestream at exactly 9 p.m. EST, the livestream began. No dramatic intro, no music, just Rihanna and Rocky sitting side by side on a cream-colored couch in their living room. Soft lamp light, calm atmosphere. Rihanna wore a loose silk blouse. Rocky wore a simple black tee. No rings. Rocky took a breath first. All right, we know what y'all think this is. Rihanna smirked. It's not that. The comments flooded in. Is this the engagement? Drop the date. We ready for the wedding? Rihanna looked directly into the camera. We're not getting married. The chat froze. For 3 seconds, it felt like the entire internet stopped breathing. Then, chaos. The shock fans couldn't believe it. After years together, after building a family, after public declarations of love, after the way he looked at her like she was the only woman alive. No marriage? Rocky leaned forward slightly. We didn't come here to disappoint anybody, he said softly. We came to be honest. Rihanna nodded. We've talked about marriage a lot. We respect it. We admire it. But for us, it doesn't define what we have. The disbelief was immediate. Clips began circulating within minutes. Headlines formed in real time. Rihanna and A$AP Rocky refuse marriage? Power couple rejects tradition. Is this the end of fairy tale love? But it wasn't the end. It was something deeper. The real reason Rihanna folded her hands in her lap. I grew up seeing love tested by expectations, she began. Pressure, titles, rules. She paused, choosing her words carefully. I promised myself that if I ever loved someone like this, I wouldn't let the world design it for me. Rocky nodded slowly. Marriage is beautiful, he added, but sometimes people treat it like a trophy, like a finish line. He looked at her. What we have, it's not a finish line, it's a rhythm. Rihanna smiled at that. A rhythm, she repeated. A private vow. Then Rocky revealed something that stunned even the loudest critics. We already made promises, he said quietly, just not in front of cameras, not in front of the world. Rihanna reached for his hand. We promised each other peace, she said. Freedom, growth, honesty. She leaned closer. And we promised that if one day we do choose marriage, it'll be because we woke up and wanted it, not because the internet asked for it. The comments slowed. Something about the calmness in their voices made it impossible to argue. Fans in disbelief. Still, the reactions poured in. Some fans felt heartbroken. We've been planning this wedding in our heads for years. Others felt confused. But you're perfect together. Some even accused them of being afraid of commitment. Rocky addressed that directly. Commitment isn't a ring, he said firmly. Commitment is showing up every day. It's choosing someone when it's hard. It's protecting their peace. Rihanna squeezed his hand tighter. We already chose each other. The deeper truth. Then Rihanna revealed something no one expected. People think marriage makes love safer, she said. But love isn't safe. It's brave. She looked directly at the camera. And we're brave enough to love each other without needing a certificate to prove it. Silence. The chat wasn't chaotic anymore. It was reflective. The Harlem conversation. Later that night, after the live stream ended, paparazzi captured them walking through Harlem hand in hand. No security swarm. No flashy outfits. Just laughter. Rocky whispered something that made Rihanna burst into full, uncontrollable laughter. The kind where she had to stop walking. The photos went viral. Not because of a ring, but because of the joy. Industry reactions. Celebrities weighed in. Some publicly supported their choice, praising their honesty. Others subtly hinted they still hoped for a wedding someday. But one quote from Rihanna stuck with everyone. We don't owe anyone a ceremony. We owe each other happiness. The final moment. A week later, Rihanna posted again. This time, it was a short video clip. Rocky in the kitchen, dancing badly while cooking. Her voice behind the camera. Imagine thinking this man isn't committed. He turned around dramatically. Mrs., he started jokingly. She cut him off. Don't start. They both laughed. Caption. We good over here. Years later, years passed. No wedding announcement ever came. No secret ceremony leaked, yet they remained solid, stronger, unbothered. And one day during an interview, Rocky was asked again, do you regret not getting married? He smiled. I wake up next to my best friend. I build with her. I raise our kids with her. I grow with her. He paused. What exactly am I missing? Why fans were really in disbelief. It wasn't about marriage. It was about expectation. People wanted the fairy tale ending. But Rihanna and Rocky chose something different. They chose partnership over performance, love over labels, commitment over ceremony. And in doing so, they redefined what forever could look like. In the end, the shock faded. The disbelief turned into admiration. Because the truth was simple. They didn't reject marriage. They rejected pressure. And sometimes, the boldest love story is the one that refuses to follow the script.